Good morning and welcome back to Harriet's Custom Computer Art Plus. Today I'm going to be working on some supplies for a 70th birthday party. I'm going to be making some oversized props for a photo backdrop. So I'm going to be making this large mirror ball and the giant mics, and I'm going to be using, I haven't decided yet whether I'm going to cut it out using the Cricut or by hand. um, I might just cut it out by hand because it should go pretty quickly. These props are going to be against a wall, so I won't need to put I won't need to make them double-sided, so they'll only be single-sided, and it will um, probably be easier for me to cut these out. But I will be using the Cricut on some of the other projects I'm making, and I will, in this series, because I have quite a few items to work on for this party, I'm going to also be making a close, if not completely life-size prop of the celebrant of Rita, and I'm going to be making it completely at home. I'm going to do all my printing. I will be using a Epson ET 15000 wide format printer that prints up to 13 by 19. So I'll be doing some puzzle fitting for the mics that I'm going to be making in the mirror ball today, and also for the life-size prop of the celebrant. So let's get started. First of all, I just need to pull up these microphones. I already have them in my system. So I'm going to go to a new page, and I'm going to go to create a design. Let me zoom out a little bit so you can see the full screen. There we go. And I'm using my iPad Pro 12.9. I may go back and forth between the desktop and the iPad Pro, but if I can get everything done on the iPad Pro, I will. I usually use it about, well, pretty much 100% of the time. Every now and then I'll use Design Space on the desktop. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new design by going here to the top right corner, clicking on Create a Design. I'm going to come down here. Let me see, I might already have it saves the most recent, the last 3 recent. I wish it would save more, kind of like on the Cricut where you can just set it. But I'm going to be printing on the 19 by 13 inch paper, so I need it 19 inches wide. And let me see, how wide is that? Yeah, I'll be able to make it faster. So I'm going to start out by making it 19 inches wide by 13 inches high. First, of course, you have to change it to inches, otherwise you'll get some crazy numbers over there. And I'm going to decide the 19-inch paper is really wide, so I think I might just, it'll make it faster if I do it the long way. So I want to switch this to portrait mode, so I'm just going to go up here to resize, which is in the top left corner, and I'm going to, I might already have it in here. No, I don't. I have the other one. Oh wait, show more. Maybe I do have it. So there it is. So I already have 13 by 19 in here, so I'm going to click that, and then I'm just going to click resize. I'm not going to click copy and resize. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in the microphone. So I think I have it uploaded. So I'm going to click here in uploads on the left hand, this menu or column here. I clicked on uploads, and then I'm going to go through and I'm going to look for the microphone. I think yeah, there it is. And I'm going to click on it, which of course brings it into my page. So what I need to do first, if I was going to do it the wide way with it in what is that, landscape, I would have started by the largest or the widest part of the image, but in this case, since I'm doing it this way, it'll be a lot easier, and I will be able to finish it up much quicker because I won't have much. I won't have a lot of pages to have to print. I could probably print this on 3 pages each microphone, and then attach it to phone cord board to make it stand up. So what I'm going to do first, I first want to take this part off so that it just looks like, you know, your regular handheld microphone, not a corded one. I'm going to brighten it up, so I'm going to click on the image, click on edit image, and I'm just going to adjust the brightness because I want it, her favorite color is red, and I want it a vibrant red. So I'm just taking it up to 41. Let's see, I'll take it up to 50. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to bring this up to the top corner, and even with this printer, I still need to leave about a 1/2 inch on the side. So by me leaving a 1/2 inch, my microphone should still end up being, and since I can pull this back down when I need it, because right now I want just to get this head of the microphone and make it as wide as this page. And one thing I didn't do, I didn't test this for clarity, but that's actually looking pretty good. So I think it will be okay. I think I have this one turned backwards, so I'm just gonna flip it by clicking here on flip horizontal. Is that? I can't tell which way is the right way. We'll leave it like that. That might be the right way after all. So I can bring this up some more, and I can take this out more so that I have about a 1/2 inch on all sides. And I'll show you, this is how I do it too when I do it, and when I make things, try to make, I like oversizing things. If you've seen my videos, you already know that. So I like, when I oversize things, I just do it like this, just do it in sections, kind of size it in sections, and then make it like that. So this is going to make a nice size microphone. I'm judging it by looking at a page that I have of this glossy photo paper. I might, should I make it glossy? Sometimes for photo booths, I don't use glossy paper so that there won't be a glare. And I don't have any 19 by 13 plain cardstock paper. I only have, I think I use, I might have a little left. So I might change this from glossy paper to downsize it to the 11 by 17 inch paper. So I'll figure that out a little later, but for now I'll show you how I divide it up. So this would be my first piece. Let me go ahead and bring this up some more, and then I'm going to add a page. I should let me go back. Instead of adding a page, I'm going to duplicate this page by going here to the top right of the sheet, hitting the double papers with the plus sign on it, and then I duplicated it, as you can see. So what I'm going to do is, I see where this one left off, and so I'm just going to move that one up, if I can get it to move. I'm going to move it up because I already see where I stopped off, so I can move this all the way up so that I can make my second piece. And I like to leave a little overlap, so I'll leave that much overlap. And now all I need to do is just bring this down to almost the bottom of the page. And I left right up here. I think I'll bring it down a little bit because remember, you always need to leave like a extra ½ inch on. So now this will be my second page. I'm going to zoom out so that I can, which one did I do? I did my first page. Oh, well, it still works the same. I just did it on the page I wasn't planning to, but all I have to do still is continue here and make another one of these copies by doing the double sheet. And once again, I see where I left off, and I can move this up and then finish out about right here, and then finish out the bottom of the microphone. Move it up a little more because I left quite a bit of room. So move it up a little more and bring it down to where I cut it off right there. And now I have all 3 pieces. So these will print on 3 pages. And I'm wondering if I should make it on regular paper. So let me show you, now that I've possibly changed my mind, if I wanted to change, I can go in and change the paper size like I did before. I would just need to go into resize and then choose the 11 by 17 inch paper, or the 17 by 11 if I have it in there. If not, I would need to type it in here. But I'm going to save this one just in case, and I'm going to go back to home and duplicate it so that if I decide that I don't like how it looks on the cardstock, the image doesn't show up right away, but it will be there. It shows up eventually. That's just something in the software for Canva. So I'm going to make a copy of this, and now I'm going to go in and I'm going to change that copy, change the paper size, and I might have to resize my I possibly will have to resize my pieces, hopefully not, but I'm going to go here to show more, scroll down and see if I have 11 by 17. If I don't, then yeah, I have it right here. And I'm going to say resize. And looks like it resized my pieces for me as well. So it looks like I'm still good to go. And I think I'm going to use the non-glossy paper. So I'm going to go ahead and print those out, and then I will be back. I wanted to show you one more thing in case you're new to Canva and don't know how to save your work. I usually don't print in Canva because sometimes it doesn't make the shape the size that I want it. So I'm going to save it. So I'm going to click on this up arrow in the top right corner. I'm going to choose download. From here I choose which format, and I'm going to change it to JPEG because I really don't need I don't need it in PNG as a PNG or an SVG because I'm just going to cut these out by hand. It'll be quick. Sometimes I like just cutting with plain old scissors. And now I'm going to click download. It's going to download these 3 pages for me, and then I'm going to open them up in Pages since I'm on the iPad, and I'll print from Pages because I know that it will be in the format, the size, the measurements will be exactly like I'm seeing here on my screen. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, once you see this pop up, that means it's saved to your gallery. So I can go ahead and move out of here and go to Pages. Oops. So I'm going to click on Pages, and I'm going to start a new document. I'm going to go with the blank white one, and then to make it, this paper is called tabloid. As it's 11 by 17, but it's also known as tabloid in the Epson printer. So what I'm going to do is, I didn't mean to open that one. Well, this is just showing some of the things I'm going to be making for this party. But I'm going to go back and get the blank copy that I meant to click on. And I'm going to go here to this drop down menu, choose document option, document setup, and then here I can put in my custom size. So I'm going to see if I already have it set up for if I were to print. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and go to custom size, and then for width it's going to be 11, and for height it's going to be 17. I'm going to choose done, and done again. And now when I zoom out, it should be in my tabloid format. I'm going to go here and with just saying where I'm going to enter photos. I'm going to choose photo and video, and then I'm going to go and choose those pieces and bring them in. And what I like to do when I'm doing pieces cut up like this, I bring in all the pieces together and resize them together to make sure that I have everything the right size. I get my third piece. I don't know why I must have accidentally hit duplicate twice on this middle section. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put it together right quickly to make sure that it's lining up correctly. This, you're just seeing the white edge. If I double click, I can get rid of that white edge so you can see. And I'm just going to line this up to make sure that it's going to line up correctly once I cut it out. And I'm going to make 2 copies of this since I need 2 of them. So yeah, the way this is printed, it will line up regardless. I can even make the microphone shorter if I wanted to, but I want to keep them on 3 pages. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just sit these close to each other. I need to see the gray one. So I'm going to bring it to the front. And that's how you bring it to the front in Pages. And now I'm going to just kind of tuck these in so that I can partially see them. I'm going to take some of this out so I can click on each piece. And I'm going to just click on each piece so that I can get them all together, just like that. I'm going to group them, and then I'm going to resize until my microphone head is filling up the full page like it was. And this is how I'm going to keep everything in the right proportion. Remember, I'm going to leave at least a ½ inch on each side. This is more than a ½ inch, but it'll be fine. Alright, so now I'm going to ungroup these pieces. I'm going to ungroup the pieces, and then I'm going to drag the other pieces down to other pages. So I'm just going to drag this one down. I need a third page, so I'm just going to run this down so that it goes to the third page, and then I could put that extra piece in the middle. There we go. Did it disappear? I think my third page, oh no, there's my third page. So I'm going to go up here and grab my last piece. Let me take this in a little so I can click on it. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. I'm going to hit the back arrow, which is right over here, because I wanted to double click so I could take that white out. There we go. Now I can click on this piece and drag it where I need it, all the way down to the third page, or either one now that I have some on both pages. Alright, so I'm going to position these and then I'll be ready to print, and I'll be back when it's time to assemble. Now it's time to send it to the printer. I go once again to that drop down menu, go down to print, and close this menu out first. So I'm going to click here, go down to print, and I'm going to change the paper size from lettered to tabloid, and then go back on options. I'm going to select the printer that I'm going to be using. It's currently looking for my 15,000. Now I have all of my pieces cut out for the giant microphones. I just cut out 2 of each, and I did do it on the paper that on a cardstock 11 by 17. And a little trick I use so that I can cut these out together, I take a piece of tape so that it holds them together so that I'll get a uniform cut, and I either put it on a piece of clothing or something that has a little lint on it, and then this is just masking tape, and then you can put it on your image, line them up when they're freshly, fresh out of the printer, and then you can cut them together if you have, duplicate pieces, so that you only have to cut. I only had to cut 3 times. It took me about 15 minutes to cut out all of these. Wasn't bad at all, even with the curves. And so now I'm going to assemble this. Now all I need to do to assemble it, and thankfully this has the pattern that is with all the divots in the microphone handle, which are the rubies or whatever, the crystals. It makes it easy to hide the fact that you're gluing the pieces together. So I'm going to use, not hot glue, I'm going to use my tape roller, because I don't want it to be raised. I want it to be flat. So you can see right here where these line up, that's where the pattern repeats. So I'm just going to take it there, and if it's a little hanging over like right there, I'll just trim that away. And then once I adhere all of my microphone pieces, I have the end over here. See if I can get more of this on my table so you can see it. So this is going to be a nice size microphone. So I have the rest of this tip to go on the end, and once again I'll line it up with where I cut off, and I have, this looks like about maybe a 5-foot, almost 5-foot microphone, which is exactly what I was going for. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and take my tape roller. I'm using the advanced tape glider, and I'll put this first one together on camera. Well, I can put them both together, I guess. And all I'm going to do is, once again, I'm going to line up where this is going to overlap. So I know it can go all the way up to here and a little bit over, so I'm just going to go right along where this white dot is. That's where I'm going to put my tape line. And I went a little above it, but it's okay because this cut goes a little above it. And I'm just going to put several pieces to make sure that it doesn't come loose. or come loose. And then I'm going to line these up just like that. Oops. I want to make sure that it's going to be nice and straight. So before I press it down really hard, I'm just going to do a little press in the middle, and I'm going to hold it up and make sure that that's on there straight. And it is. It looks great. So I'm going to go ahead, and sometimes for the when I use the tape glider, I go over it with just my roller, which is what I use for the Cricut. Now, after I've have all of these together, then I'm going to attach these to foam core board. And what I'm going to do is I just turn it over on the foam core board, just like this foam core board is here. I make a tracing around the object, and then when I cut a little bit inside of my tracing so that it won't be showing all the way along the edge. So I'm gonna I'll trace it out correctly, but then I'm gonna cut about maybe a quarter of an inch inside my foam core boards so that it'll fit perfectly behind the microphone, and no one will be able to see, and it'll hold it up firmly. So I'm gonna go ahead and attach this last piece, and then just to make sure these are set up the same way, I'm going to overlay the second one on this one so that I can keep it aligned. So once again, I'm going to see how far I can go up with this, and looks like right here is my cutoff point, maybe a little below it. So I'm gonna go along right under this white area so that I'll make sure that I'm not going up too far and have lint and everything in the world sticking to this while I'm waiting for the party to start, the party date to arrive. So I'm going to put one more closer to the end, and then I'm going to do the same thing I did before. I'm going to tap it in the middle to connect it so that I can make sure that it's aligned and straight. And boy, I forgot. Oh, okay, there it is. All right. So now I'm going to just line this up with where it needs to be. Press it in the middle so I can stand it up and make sure it's nice and straight. Wow, that's perfect. And now I can go ahead and give it the rollover. I can't even, oh, it's right here. I was going to say I can't even see where I attached them. So now I have my full microphone, as you can see. So that's going to be a nice tall prop, which will look good with the balloon arch. So I'm going to go ahead, and like I said, I'm going to just do the same thing I did first time, but I'm going to overlay it so that I can make sure that I'm lining them up correctly. And once I do that, I'll be back with my foam core boards. Alright, now I'm back with my foam core board, and I'm not going to glue them together now. I'm going to wait until I attach the microphones, because it'll be kind of difficult to do the long cuts. So what I'm going to do is I can get two microphones on the foam core boards. So I'm just going to line these up. Unfortunately, these are kind of warped, which is not very good. I should have stood them flat instead of having them on a chair. All right, so I'm going to, I only need one actually to do the tracing. And I have the all black on both sides. It probably would have been a great idea to get black with white on one side if you want to make your work easier. You could get the black with white on one side so that it'll be easy for you to do your transfer or your marking and see it well. So as you can see, I can get both microphones on this one sheet, and I'm going to take that as far or as close to the top as I can so that I can still use the rest of that foam core board for later. And I'm going to pull out just an ink pen so that I can trace around it. And once I'm finished tracing around it, I will be back. Okay, now I'm back. I've traced around these, and it's a good idea. The reason why I turned it over is so if I accidentally mark on this, it will not show. It'll be on the reverse side. So it's a good idea to trace it on this side. Now the only reason you would have to kind of be a little more careful is if you want one side to be black and one side to be, one side is white and one side is black. Because if you want the black side out, like this is going to be glued to the underside of the foam board. So if you're using like one where you wanted to see where you traced, if you trace it backwards on white, just remember you might as well just get solid white, because you're going to have to flip it over and it's going to be on the opposite side from the side that you're cutting. So I've finished both of these, and it literally took me maybe 15 minutes to trace them out, because this doesn't have to be exact because we're going to cut inside of these lines anyway. So now I just got to get my cutter out, and I'll show you. I used, if you have any old like fine point pens, it works perfectly with the black cardstock, because you're able to see exactly where you made your lines. But I'll just draw it on, and then I'm going to cut these out, and I'll show you when I'm ready to adhere them. I'm going to go 1/4 inch inside. So here's where I traced, and I'm going to go 1/4 inch inside of the image that's carved on here, so that it doesn't show over the edge. The only area that you're going to want to keep very straight is the portion that's going to be meeting the ground. So this area, I want to keep that line, and I'm going to actually, when I put my piece on, I'm going to make sure that it lines up with this end, so that when I stand it up for the balloon arch, it will have a firm base to stand on, and it won't buckle the image. It'll make it look like a rigid microphone. So I'm going to go ahead and get started with cutting these out, and then I will be back when it's time to adhere them. Okay, so now we're ready to glue these together, and these took me probably maybe 15 minutes as well. I use my little Fisker's finger cutter, where you just it makes it really easy to do precision cuts and quick cuts, because your finger's just in it sliding along. But this didn't have to be a precision cut because it's going to be hidden, but this did make the process go a lot faster. And I also, just in case, put an X on the side that I traced on, so I know that I needed to flip these over. But it probably wouldn't have mattered that much, except here at the top in this area. And like I said, it's going to be behind anyway, so it shouldn't show. Now I have my heat gun, or my high temperature glue gun, warming up, because I'm going to put these together using my high temperature heat gun, or glue gun. Sorry about that, not a heat gun. So I'm just waiting for it to heat up, and I'm going to start by pressing these ends together. And the way that it's cut, it works out perfectly, because this part is kind of cut at an angle, both sides, so it's going to join up just perfectly, just like that. And then I'm going to use, I haven't decided whether I'm going to use wooden dowels or whether I'll just use other scraps of foam core board. I'll probably just use other scraps of foam core board to adhere these, but you could also use wooden dowels like the fan sticks or the paint sticks, but nobody's going to be moving these. These are just going to be part of the balloon arch with the props, with the mirror ball prop that I have to make next on top. But I won't show you that one because it's the exact same process. I'll just show you the end look. But once my glue gun is hot enough, I'm going to go ahead and attach these, and then let me show you how it'll look once I get my microphones on top. And the foam core board is very forgiving. As you can see, it bends down about 1/4 of an inch on each side. That's exactly what you want, except on the bottom it's going to be on the bottom it's not going to bend. You want that solid tape hot glued exactly to the end of your foam board, so that when it stands up it can stand on its own without buckling the image, making the image buckle at all. So I'm going to go ahead and attach these. I'll show you the rear view, how it looks, so you can see how much of an area. Some areas I cut more than 1/4 inch, but it doesn't matter. But you see how it's going to line up, where it's going to hold this up in place so that it can stand, and then this part is going to keep our microphone standing on its end like it's supposed to. So I'm going to go ahead, and I think my glue gun is about ready, and I'll just go ahead and adhere these. So I'm going to turn this back over. And it's, I measured it, and it is 3.5 feet long, which is perfect because I forgot I needed these to hold up the mirror ball prop that I'm going to make. So if they were too tall, it would look awkward with the balloon arch. So that's going to work out perfectly. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to hot glue this together first. So I'm going to go ahead and get my glue gun, and I think I'll put some glue on this side first. And this is a super hot glue gun. I need to put another piece of hot glue in here. This is a super hot glue gun. It's actually seen better days. I have a new one, I just haven't opened it yet. But I'm just going to put some glue right along that white edge where it's going to join. And I don't want to mess up my table, so I have my mat down here, and I'm just going to press those together and give them a chance to set. So I'm pressing these together. I'm putting force on both sides so that I can get a nice tight bond. And then I think I'll use hot glue to adhere the microphone too, because whenever you use hot glue with the cardstock, it actually helps to firm it up some. So it'll help to firm up the image. It'll add a little extra firmness to this board as well. So that one's done. Stuck to my board underneath, but my mat, but I can get that off just by running my fingers under there. Maybe I shouldn't have put as much glue on this one, but I'll work that out the next time. So I'm going to go ahead and attach this using some hot glue, just going around the edges. After I'm going to lay this on though. Oops, my glue gun fell, I got to get that. But I'm going to lay this on and then just lift up the edges and run the glue around. After I'm done with both of them, I'll be back. Let's go ahead and knock this one out. And all I do is tip it up a little bit so that I can make sure the glue is on there. Then I'm going to turn it around because it makes it easier since I have the glue gun on this side. And I'm just going to continue putting glue down each side, pressing it in place before it cools until I have the whole microphone completed. Another glue stick. And I'm not putting it so close to the side where it can seep out. And you see just how quickly this goes. This last area, I can just do the whole thing, as long as I don't run out of glue. And I'll just put a little closer and flatten that out. And actually, because of where these are going to be, they're literally already firm. So I don't have to put any backing on there, but I'm going to put some on there anyway, just because I'm going to have a few kids there at the party. So I need, just in case a kid, messes with it, it will be still nice and firm. So I'm just going to go ahead and flip these over. And I just have a scrap, some scraps that I saved when I was putting it together. I can just use these scraps to put on the back of there to reinforce it. It doesn't even have to be this long, so I'm actually going to cut them down and then adhere them so I can make it look neater. So I'm just going to cut some rectangles, find another piece that's about comparable to that size. And that's all you need. If you wanted to make it extra firm, you can just stack some of these on top of each other. And the more you stack and use the hot glue, the more heavy duty it's going to be. So I'll go ahead and do that. Grab this bigger piece again. I'll go ahead and do it that way to just make it a little extra sturdy. And this back side is going to be against the wall. I can fill that in or cover it with black paper, but I really don't need to because it's going to be completely flat against the wall. So I can leave it like that, but if it was going to be where it was going to be seen, I would of course make sure to cover it. So let me grab another glue stick. And I'll put it on here into this one. Since I'm going to use this as a reinforcement, I'll put more glue there. Actually, I can do it this way. Press that firmly on, and then just reinforce it with another piece of cardstock or another piece of foam core. And the foam core, along with the hot glue, this hot glue cools off and is really firm. So with the two of these together, with the hot glue in between the two extra layers, it's going to make it extra sturdy. So it should hold up in case, someone wants to touch it. All right, one down, one to go. And we'll be finished with this project. So, and once again, put a nice amount of hot glue on here. Just to help reinforce it. Press it down until it starts to set. And with the hot glue, you have to hold it just a little bit longer because it can start lifting, but I think it's going to be okay because it takes longer to cool off, so I still have a chance to add some pressure. So now we are totally done with our 3.5 foot microphones. These are going to cross somewhere in this area or maybe I might have them cross closer to this area because that'll give it some look more three-dimensional, or I might just add some extra pieces here where I join them in an X so that they will have the three-dimensional appearance. So they're going to be like this, crisscross like this, and then they'll be holding up the mirror ball as you saw in the image at the beginning of the, yeah, see, it gives it a three-dimensional appearance with the layers of foam core board there. So they're going to be spread about that far apart and then standing from the floor, and that's going to give a great effect with the mirror ball attached to the balloon arch. I hope you enjoyed this project. I plan to come back with some more projects as soon as possible. I'm finally feeling pretty well, so I'll get out as many as I can before, hopefully I won't be having any more issues anytime soon. But I hope you enjoyed this project. If you haven't already subscribed, please subscribe. Don't forget to hit the like button. And also hit the bell if you'd like to be notified the minute I have up new projects. This once again is Harriet's Custom Computer Plus. Thank you so much. I finally hit the 10,000 mark with subscribers. Thank you so much. I can't believe it. I'm beyond pleased. I appreciate the support even when I'm out and sick and not making as many tutorials as I would like. But I appreciate your support. Thank you for getting me to 10,000 subscribers. I hope to bring you plenty more content. Hopefully that will be helpful to your small business or just making your family some pretty nice birthday parties or celebrations. I'll see you next time.